One of the bell ringers died, and the tradition after a bell ringer dies is that they ring what's called a quarter peal, and after a very long ring, some fabric from the top of the bell tower was on the footpath. And the building surveyor doesn't like it when bits of stuff fall off the bell tower from a great height out into the street, so it was consequently ordered to be shut. And it's remained shut ever since. It's almost 6 years now. It's a bit of a strange thing really, because the building is not structurally unsound. What's unsound on this building is the time and wear and tear stuff. So, for example, on the top of the bell tower you've got, or we used to have, 4 very large cast iron finials that were not bronzed. So what happens when you get the interaction between these massively heavy objects and the rust sets in is that it pushes the masonry fabric away. So in fact what we had fall from up there was chunks of masonry at the interface between the cast iron elements and the fabric, masonry fabric. Eventually we'll see those finials go back, I guess, or replicas of them. They're on the cathedral floor at the moment. They are enormous when you get up close to them, and it'll be up to the heritage people who look after this building to decide whether those things are going to be put back or replicas put back.
What's truly obvious when you look inside the building is that some of the really big issues that have beset the building since it got closed have really been dealt with. So the issue of ingress of water has largely been dealt with. At one point the electrics need to be dealt with, they've been dealt with. But what we're left with is a building without a floor, and the floor will be going in early 2015.
Of course, the tower was never finished, which is the real issue. The tower was meant to have a central spire on it like Sacred Heart, and it was designed to have, and the foundations for that are up there on top of the tower. And because that's never been built, the tower in a sense has never been really protected from the elements.
This is the chiming apparatus to chime the bells up in the tower. We're presently standing in the ringing chamber where all the ringing of the bells is actually done. The chiming apparatus has a hammer that hits the side of the bell and causes the sound into the bells. This is a one-person ring, and at the moment we have 6 out of the 8 bells connected up to it. When we do full circle ringing, which is where we turn the bells completely in a full circle, when the clapper comes across and hits the bell, you get a far richer, deeper sound, and this is done by using these ropes, and there is one person per rope in control of each bell, and we therefore ring 8 bells with 8 people. To get back in here, we must bide our time and realise that the things are a bit more important than the bell tower, like having a floor to walk on and doing some of the flooring work inside the cathedral to make it safe to access the church. Once that's done, and hopefully some more money's raised, then we can finally finish the tower to its former glory and start ringing the bells again.
Well, once we had the place closed, it was time to have what's called a survey of the fabric done, and an architect was appointed under the guidance of Heritage Victoria. The buildings here are all listed with Heritage Victoria. It's a very significant site. And So once a survey of the fabric was done, it was discovered that there were a multitude of small issues, I guess. I said before, the building is not structurally unsound at all, but there were a range of small issues that needed to be dealt with, which all add up to a pretty large closing of the church. The things, as the Dean previously explained, that the floors here were rotting. We've had a significant ingress of water. We've now discovered why that ingress of water has happened. It's taken us a long time to work that out. We didn't realise how bad it was until we started digging the foundations for the new floor and discovered that the stump hole's constantly filled with water. And in that discovery, we've had an archaeologist here, and we've discovered things about the building technique here, which is quite amazing, really. So there's been a long progress of discovering how the building's built, how to deal with it. Part of the reason that we've had such damp problems is that the foundations go down much deeper in the form of inverted arches to support the foundations. They go down many metres, and that was a great discovery. The archaeologist and architect's eyes lit up when we finally worked out what all the strange brickwork subsoil was. This place has had a lot of development down the years. The original floor that's in the nave part of the building is still the original floor. It was built in 1868. The foundations were put down for the balance of the building at the same time, but the balance of the building wasn't built until 1927. So there were different building techniques for that part of the building, and in fact it hasn't stood up to the wear and tear as well as the very oldest parts of the building. And it's in that east end of the building now where we're putting this liftable floor, and various changes have been made.
The floor's going to sit around, the new floor's going to sit around this amazing new platform. Now the platform rises up and provides this dais for when we have services, but crucially it can come down and be flat, which provides one of the kind of biggest flat venues, I think, probably in Bendigo. It's going to be an amazing venue for any kind of social function that we want.
And that's what these buildings are about. They're meant to be used.
There's been this commitment from the Anglican community to get it open. It's just been a huge job. The congregation that's being set with such a huge challenge like this has, in a sense, a crisis point. It can either turn inwards and become obsessed with the kind of the minutiae of the issues, or it can look outwards and start to say, well, look, what can we actually be for the city? And I think this congregation's started to turn outwards, look further abroad to kind of what's going on, get more engaged with the community, and therefore the community gets more engaged with us.
Oh, I don't think there was ever any doubt that it would be saved. I think it's just a matter of it's taken a lot longer than I ever thought it would. But I never really doubted it'd be fixed. It's just taken a long time.